me.
Okay.
Live started now.
All right. So let's get started. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to have you here. So big thanks to our amazing speakers for sharing their time and stories. We've got fantastic lineup, each with their own journey and perspectives. I hope something today's speakers inspiration, connection, or curiosity for you. So, and since this is a global event, feel free to share your social links in the chat and say hi to each other. So, I started this community to bring together people who care not just about AWS but about each other. Now I co-organize it with Yuki, and we are always happy to welcome new helping hands. If you'd like to get involved, just reach out. Let's build this community together. So today's schedule, uh, right. Let's take a quick look at today's schedule. We've got fantastic lineup of speakers. Himansh, Abhiraja, Keita, Bricia, and Nagasweza. So, let's give them a big warm welcome. So we are so glad to have them joining from around the world. Thanks to each of you, you were sharing your time and stories with us. We will follow the order on the slide, and the event will run for about 2 hours. So stay with us as long as you can. Next, just quick reminder for everyone. This is global event, so you can join us on Zoom or YouTube. Whichever is either for you. Feel free to drop your questions or comment, thoughts in the chat anytime. And if you like, you are welcome to unmute at the end and share a few words. Let's get sorry. Let's keep building connections and growing this global community together. And about AWS Global Community Gathering, let me quickly introduce this meetup group. We started it to create an inclusive, welcoming space where people can run together. By connecting through AWS and tech, we hope the stories shared here spark inspiration or give you a gentle push forward. We especially love welcoming first-time speakers and those who haven't had many chances to share. I hope you'll feel at home here and see this as a place to run, connect, and grow. So we haven't been very active on Discord just yet, but we are hoping to start using it more and turn it into a welcoming space for everyone. If you were interested, we'd love to have you join us there. So here, our next event. We hope events every month and always looking for ways to make this community better. I'd love for you to keep joining us, and if you are interested, maybe even join us speaker. We are always excited to welcome new voices and fresh perspective. Right now, we are looking for speakers for the upcoming months, especially from October onward. So, if you'd like to share your story, this is a great chance. Don't be shy. We'd love to have you on stage. And finally, thank you once again. We are excited to keep growing this community together with all of you. Thank you. So, all right. Let's get started with the main session. So, first speaker. Do, 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 do.
First speaker. Himansh. Hi, Himansh.
Himansh,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hello.
hello. Are you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, stop my screen. Uh,
Share screen. Okay.
great. I can
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
So,
I think
okay,
okay.
speaker mode.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah. So am I audible first of all? Can everyone hear me? Hello. Hi.
Oh,
Hi. 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 Uh People from a lot of nationalities. So I hope my English is understandable. I'll go a bit slow so it's understandable for everyone. And the today's topic is Gen AI plus serverless, my AWS Builder workflow. So we have been hearing a lot about generative AI, and serverless is something that we all use for infrastructure a lot. And I have been particularly working a lot in this intersection. And I wanted to share some insights from my experiences as to how I have been using these two domains together and what learnings I got from these domains while using AWS. A little bit about me. I'm Himanshu Sangshetty. I'm currently working as a solutions associate at ZS. I was previously AWS Cloud Captain, where I founded a club, AWS Cloud Club PICD, which grew around 2.7 thousand members, which was a lot of community support and a lot of community love. I'm currently also building Cloud Fluently. Cloud Fluently is a free learning website where you can go through and learn for your AWS certifications, and you'll get some free resources out there. And I have done 3 AWS certifications, 5 Azure, and some other ones. So yeah, certifications have been a lot. Um, this was the introduction. I'll just directly jump into the topic as to, what is generative AI and serverless. We pretty much know a bit, but just to give an introduction, generative AI is basically creating new content, and that content can be text, images, code, or music using AI application, and that is what generative AI is about. You are generating something, and that's where the generative AI name comes from. And we have pretty much used a lot of generative AI tools. ChatGPT has been something that has been going on in our everyday lives. We have seen through the Amazon Bedrock models. If you guys have explored a bit on the ML side or the AI side of the AWS. And serverless is basically serverless services are where you don't need to manage servers. Like where, for example, when we are using EC2 or we are using a virtual machine, we have to manage the whole infrastructure where we are creating a VPC, we are creating the subnets, and then we are trying to manage the auto scaling of it. But in serverless, the whole thing is managed by a cloud provider, that is AWS, and we just focus on the code side, right? So this was a general introduction, and we have seen some examples of serverless as AWS Lambda, API Gateway, DynamoDB. So how do they intersect together? How can you use them together? So the basic thing which I would talk about is the challenges of GenAI and how serverless, how the perks of serverless are useful to cover up the challenges that GenAI faces. So the first challenge GenAI faces is high compute cost. That GenAI is very expensive. The GPUs are very expensive, even for small workloads. But on the contrary, serverless is cost efficient because you just have to pay for the resources you are using. Again, for generative AI, there is a lot of scalability issues because the traffic can be unpredictable. It is based on the number of requests you get, right? And similarly, serverless has a scalability, elastic scalability where it automatically scales. Again, for Gen AI, we have some latency concerns. Like for large models, take very a long time to respond. Even for Chat GPT, sometimes it's like you'll see it takes a long time to respond, and and we're just sitting there and like, yeah, give me that answer. But like on the serverless side, it is you can scale manually. You can scale manually. It scales automatically. You then we can patch. Again, for the Gen AI, we have some complexity, operational complexity. That is, so when you are trying to run your own model or a pre-trained model, you need a lot of infrastructure deployments or infrastructure handling because it is computationally expensive, right? Or computationally very heavy. And again, serverless covers it as it is an event-driven, and we are using APIs to, have our calls. An integration gap. AI doesn't alone solve business problems. It needs some APIs with it, because you can get an answer from the model. Now suppose even we are talking about Chat GPT, right? When we are giving it a question, it will generate an answer, but to give that answer back, you need an API to give that answer back. And that's where serverless is integrating with it, right? So these were the challenges and how serverless actually covers it. To think of it as an analogy, you can think that generative AI is the brain, where similar to our brain, where we kind of think and think a lot of things and generate a lot of ideas. And serverless is a nervous system where it actually executes those ideas. So this was an quick analogy to understand onto what these two terms are about and how they integrate together. Now, if you have seen, you must have seen a lot of services, GenAI services, and a lot of services that AWS offers. Even here, there's a lot, and um, as I started, when I started, going through these, it was a bit complicated, or like it was a bit intimidating to go through all of these services, right? So, just because of that, I just wanted to give a brief glimpse onto how ins how how I use it, or like what is my workflow, or what kind of services do I use. There are more than 200 plus services in AWS, but you don't need to know all of them, right? So similarly, there are a lot of services in generative AI and serverless, but you don't need to know all of them. um, Even knowing a few of them would do a maximum of your work, and that's why I've been explaining onto how my builder workflow used to look like. So in general, whenever we're trying to create an application or a deployment, or run an ML model, um, we always have the front end where we have the users, we have the API where the communication happens, we have the backend where actually the processing logic happens, and since we are talking about AI applications, we'll have AI where where generative AI will generate answers for you, which would refer from the data, right? So we have a front end, which which is where user can access the application, API to communicate, backend to have the logic. We have AI to generate or drive new answers, and data to refer the data, or like to store the data of the application. So, and when you see these, I have added some icons here, I have added some services here, and these are the services that I usually use whenever I'm trying to build a full AI application, So, and if you see um, from this, there is two parts. Either these applications, and then there is AI. So all these applications are serverless applications, serverless services. And if you see, these all are serverless services. So for front end, we have these serverless services, for API, for back end, and for data. And I think I would not, go deep dive much into it, but we can just go through each of them. For serverless, for front end, we have the serverless um, services, that is Amazon S3, Amplify, and Cognito. So for front end, we have this user application, right? So for S3 and CloudFront is used when you want to host some static websites. You have a static website, you have an UI where you're interacting, where a user is interacting with them, and you can use Amazon S3. But now, where do you use Amazon Amplify? Amazon Amplify is used when you have authentication, we have some backend integration, and you also want to set up a CI/CD pipeline. And as AWS Amplify is serverless, you don't need to do anything of like, you don't need to actually write the YAML files and set the CI/CD, but it's set for you, and you can just enable the backend application from there itself. So when I very basic on a very high level, what I'll say is for front end serverless services, when you want a static website, you'll use an Amazon S3 and CloudFront. And when you want a dynamic website, which has a backend and when you want automatic CI/CD integration, you'd use an AWS Amplify. And finally, we have Amazon Cognito, which is we use for authorization. So authorization we can use for both, static and dynamic websites. And these services are serverless, so you don't need to actually manage any infrastructure for this. On the contrary, if you use EC2, you'll need to deploy a website, but then you'll also need to manage that, manage the server, manage the instances, manage the auto scaling for it. Yeah. Then we have API part, where the communication of your application would happen. And we have two services, two serverless services for it, that is API Gateway and API AWS AppSync. So when do I use one of these? So when we just want to have an a API call, a REST API call, or an HTTP API call, you would use Amazon API Gateway. But now, if we are talking about services like chatbot, where you have continuous real-time communication with the application, or else we can say asynchronous kind of communication with the application, we'll use AppSync. So these two are the communication paths. APIs, you can use API Gateway or AppSync. Um, for the backend part, so we talked about front end, the main application. We talked about communication, that is the API. And for the backend, we have these serverless services, that is AWS Lambda. AWS Lambda is the pretty popular service. It is basically you're running serverless functions, right? It's and you don't need to manage service for it. So yes, whatever small logics you have can be written in AWS Lambda. AWS, what is AWS step functions? So now we can we can create workflows. So let's just go by its name, step functions. What does it say is that it says steps. Steps is like you are taking an execution. So we have a workflow. You'd say, okay, first of all, you can trigger this lambda, and then after that trigger the lambda 2, after triggering lambda 1, and then you can say after triggering lambda 2 trigger the lambda 3. So basically, you are creating a step, or you're creating a workflow, and it will run automatically based on that workflow. So you are chaining multiple steps to get that execution workflow, right? And event bridge is very similar thing for serverless event driven workflows, where suppose here we also have an example. So here we have written, like, when we are putting a new data in S3, we can say you can just kick it off in GenAI processing. So basically, what we are saying is, we are creating a trigger, that is, whenever a new data is put in S3, it will directly go to the SageMaker notebook, and it's run there. So that's the basic gist of what Event Bridge is about. Okay, it's basically for event-driven workflows. So these three are the services that you can use for the backend logic, serverless services. And finally, the AI layer. So for the serverless layer, we just saw, front end AI and backend, API and backend, and we saw multiple services, right? Now the AI part of the application. So where can you use the AI part? There are some services. AI part, there is a lot of so basically AI part is a lot lengthier and it does take time, but I'll just go skim through a bit faster in general. So, first point would be foundation models or custom models. So, you can use Amazon Bedrock to access foundation models. By foundation models, what does it mean is the models we have in market, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, we have Anthropic, we have Mistral, we have Meta, a lot of models out there, right? So you can use Bedrock to directly access those models for your application. And when you want to use a pre-trained model to train it, um, basically you want to train a pre-trained model. Suppose you are saying that you want to train ChatGPT on your own data. So you'd say, I want Amazon SageMaker Jumpstart, right? So basically, let's say ChatGPT can't speak Japanese well, right? It is not fluent in Japanese. So what you do is you'd use Amazon SageMaker Jumpstart to actually teach it some Japanese, and then it would be more proficient in Japanese than than the normal GPT we get in the market, right? So that's what taking a pre-trained model and fine tuning on it means, right? So we can use Amazon SageMaker Jumpstart for that. Next is SageMaker inference endpoints, where you can actually host your endpoint models or the fine-tuned models for others to access it. Now, it's taking the same example that we trained a Japanese chat GPT maybe, and now you want others to access it. So you'll be hosting it on SageMaker inference endpoints. That's what it is about. And second is the search part. So first was the foundation models. Second is the searching type of models. So there is a lot of hype on RAG right now. RAG is retrieval augmentation generation. This might be a bit complex, but to explain it on a very high level, let's take the same Japanese example. So we are creating a Japanese chat GPT, and which can speak fluently in Japanese. And what you can say is you can give it a lot of documentations. So basically, what you do is on a very high level, in a very childish level, I'd say that you are giving it a lot of Japanese learning books, and we are saying to ChatGPT, "Hey, learn this." And what we are doing is we are basically giving it some data and training it on that data. And RAG is basically used to train on that data using vector databases, and this is what um, can be used for search engines. So you would train it on that data and then use a search engine. So now you can search anything about the whole books you gave it to using Amazon Kendra. And that's what a search um, or basically RAG is about. And then you can use Amazon Kendra for the same thing. Third is the natural understanding, that is the NLP. And this is a pretty straightforward thing. Whatever models we use right now in the market or are all about NLP based, where it can understand whatever we are saying in natural language and then analyze your tone, analyze your mood based on that. And the fourth is the speech one. So we have two services for it, Amazon Transcribe and Amazon Poly. Amazon Transcribe converts your speech to text. So whatever I'll speak would be converted to text, and Poly is vice versa of it. So these were the services. I know it's a lot of services out there, but then I would definitely share this PPT if anyone wants, and you can go through it later on. Yeah, so a very high understanding, again, what it says is what GenAI plus serverless is, you would have a balance in performance, cost, and simplicity. So you would have a very high performance, you would have less cost, and you would have high simplicity. And that's what GenAI plus serverless is about. So if you are trying to learn a bit more about GenAI, you should definitely pair up with serverless to make to strike the balance between this. And finally, this is what the main agenda of the PPD is, that what I learned. So I had been experimenting a lot with these services, and I got a lot of unnecessary bills and a lot of pitfalls I fell into. So these were the five main learnings I'd say, which you can avoid so you don't fall in those pitfalls. First of all, the very first thing would be cold starts plus AI latency. So AWS Lambda has a problem of cold start, and AI has latency sometimes that whenever you try, sometimes what happens is when you are trying an AI model, it goes very slow. And same goes with Lambda, right? So Lambda takes a lot of time to cold start, and that causes a lot of time constraints, or like it increases the time a lot. For that, what you can do is, the solution for this is use provision concurrency, have a concurrent model, or use SageMaker endpoints, and you would see a significant difference for this. Then the second would be invisible fan out cost. So so there would be a huge cost if your AI model is getting called again and again, and your Lambda is running on that. So what would happen is there would be like more than thousands and millions API calls to your AI model, and AI models are already costly, right? The APIs are costly. So this would create a lot of API costing out there, and I had struggled a lot with this. So a very basic thing you could do is add guardrails or add budgets to it. And again, Lambda as a glue code, this is again another problem, which you can cover by using step functions or event bridge, so you have a proper workflow. And fourth would be, instead of only focusing on prompt engineering, you can have different types of versioning prompts. So prompt engineering is a huge thing, to be very honest. So try to have multiple versions of your prompt, and see what's best for you. Because would happen is you would try the first prompt and you'd change it to the second prompt, and the second prompt is worse, and you don't have the first prompt itself. So yeah, you basically degraded your model performance. And finally, you'd say the security. Always you should be very vigilant with security, because you should make sure your yeah, API keys or other sensitive information is not sent to AI models. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you all for attending. You can let me know any questions. I'll be there. You can connect with me. And honestly, really great to be here. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to. Yeah.
Thank you, Himansu, for such a great talk. I can read it. So, how serverless and Gen AI are such a powerful combination. The builder workflow and the serverless flow and any flow you shared will was so clear and easy to follow. I
Mm.
really like it. Those diagrams.
Yeah.
They'll be especially helpful for anyone just getting started.
Mhm.
Thank you. So, by the way, Japanese can be really difficult, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. So, please do share the slide link once
Mm.
it's available.
Yep.
So, now, does anyone have question, feedback, or comments for Himansh?
Not wrong.
Mm.
Nothing more?
Thank
Nothing.
you.
Okay, let's give him another round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Mhm.
again. So, all right, let's switch the order and have Priscilla go next. But after that, we'll move to Abinaja. Uh, does that work for Abinaja?
Termination not known. Not joined.
Join?
Not join.
Oh, no. No, already she joined.
Mm-hmm. Oh, join now.
You now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Priscilla, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I will share my screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Mhm. Okay. Hi guys, can you see me? Here?
No share
No.
screen.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah? Now it?
No
Not
share
yet.
screen.
Not yet.
No yet.
And now, can you see my screen?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
So full screen.
But you can change it. Speaker
Yes.
mode. Oh,
Oh, perfect.
perfect.
Hi guys. Good morning here in Brazil. And the other places in the global is different time. But let's start. Okay, Hiromi? Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Here you go.
Nice. I'm Priscila Araújo. I'm from Brasília, Brazil. This is a capital city for our culture. And I'm part of AWS community here in Latam. And today I will speak with you guys, have a funny moment to talk about the things that happening in Brasilia, in Brazil, in the some projects that we doing. And I choose one theme called AWS and me. In my case, AWS and us, because I'm part of a community. So how building a cloud career with AWS? And I will give some tips and some things that we did here in Brazil that help to improve more our career, our community. Okay. So let's talk about me and my community here in Brasilia. I'm Priscila, and my background is about telecom, and I start to work with this since 2011, and I'm like to do projects too, and specific cloud projects, but there are this project too, and about cybersecurity and the other kind of technologies. I'm acting as a business as active in a common group in Brazil called Claro América Móvel. And now I'm trying to act as a user group leader in Brasilia since 2023. And I'm very happy to share these amazing things that happening in Brazil, not only in Brasília, but São Paulo, Minas Gerais, Northeast, Southeast of Brazil. And I'm part too of also Women Brazil member. I'm acting as a member of this beautiful women community in Brazil that every year we doing a beautiful event to our women. So in this year was in São Paulo, and next year will be in Northeast Aracaju. And I created too one special space to share funny content, tech content that call it Purpose Pod that you can share with these QR codes that I put in this screen. I love the nature and I love to the travel to see and check the nature and to hitchhike it of they busy in the common life to recharge my charger and help my guys in my community to do new things. So here in my best place in the world, that's Peruaçu, in the Minas Gerais, and with my guys in Brasília. Okay, so first, I will talk about how this thing happened to me, how that I met start to understand cloud, to make a foundation knowledge, and became sharing content about AWS. So my first content with AWS and cloud start because I saw that cloud computing has changed the ways that companies doing their projects. So a tech trend. So I thought, it's a very tech trend that I need to understand and use it with my project, with my help to my customers too. So I need to start to understand and learning in many places that I will talk with you. Search skill builder AWS. That are very common place to understand and consume tech content about AWS computing, and I start for that. And how this thing happened and helped me to achieve some certifications. In the next slides I will talk about it. And this is my avatar, one avatar that I created because I love Australia, and I put here one koala to share with you too. And my first content with AWS is starting the meetups. There are very famous events that we doing a month in Brasilia. So this is my first meetup that I create content about foundations, AWS foundations. And this is guys is helping us in Brasilia to start our group. There are Ney, there are Paiva, and the others guys that helped us to create our group. So it's very important to us to meet one group in our city and aggregate with this community, local community, and begin to understand and learning and share content. Everyone can give something. So, about certifications, I put this top because it's very important to understand what does it matter to have a certifications. Well, certifications help you to understand more about AWS, more about the tech things, but help you to be more confident, to be more tools in your brain. So I start with practitioner because it's a very common certification to start in the AWS world. So I start to consume skill builder portal, builder site, and the other places that help me to understand foundations and the services that our friend talked first. And next, I start to prepare to another specific certification that improved me more. Why I choose Solutions Architect? Solutions Architect is very famous certification to most of the professionals because help us to understand how they aggregate the services to do something, some solutions. So it's very normal that you do this kind of certification because it's a next step in your career that you can go to the developer field or security, doesn't matter. I think this certification it's important to everyone. Well, but it's not only, it's important that you use this technology. How do you improve this technology? You need to do something to check the tools, using services, create solutions in your community with your partners, with your guys, and help some organization and use this technology. Just not only to use this bucket in LinkedIn, but use this in real life. So I have here one QR code that show you some tips, some ways to check and improve your technology to do these certifications, okay? Um, yeah, I talk about it. So about certifications, why this is important to improve your knowledge in your career. So here, one famous event in Goiânia, another city that is very close to Brasilia, and I talk with Ana Cunha about foundations knowledge in AWS. Okay, this is kind of way that I think to use my knowledge to improve. Okay, not only to has a budget. So community engagement is very important because it's not about only to you, to us, or our career, but our community, because community help us to grow, to improve our technology, to improve our career and our life, because it's a very funny moment that you have when you are with your community. This is one great guys that I met in Conectadas, because we have a hub of many kind of women communities in Brasilia that we has a great event. And here campus party with all guys in Brasilia and Pimenta from São Paulo, Campinas. And here we have some girls of many different communities talk about their lives, their careers. And here we have other guys, other girls in Community Day in Goiânia last year with Paloma, with Patricia, and the other guys. Here we have a boot camp in Brasilia to understand how can you improve more leadership and community and make different groups in our community to share activities and boost our events in Brasilia. So here we have one QR code that you can share some tips to improve more your community, engage them, and grow. One thing that happened last night, this is a hackathon that we do in our community last night in a famous event in Brasilia. We are in a four we win in Brasilia as a four place. And we have glad to share this because these guys passed a 20 no, 48 hours programming with agents AI to do one solution to this event. So amazing the power of the community when the people come together and doing something. Here, if you can share these things, you can check these things, check our actions. In Brasilia, you can saw it through this QR code, okay? And now I want to talk about women in tech because it's one flag that I love to hands up, because women in tech, it's about my life, about my career, and help other women, empower other women is part of my life. So how can improve it? How can help more women to enter in the tech world, in the market of job? You can improve, you can help it. So this is how can you improve? Make a group of women in your AWS user group local. You can create a group of women. You can create an environment a very different environment to help them with their needs, with their challenges. Okay, here we have one QR code above our great local group called Brasilia Girls that we create last year and do something, very many things. Here we have some women in Brazil that we doing every day, every year, okay? And here we have MTI, one famous event that you can invite many different communities of women. So if you can check these actions, you can scan this QR code. Okay, key benefits for my career and life. I think that when I became to be part of AWS community, my changed life so many ways. I start to help more my customers, because I became I understand more the services, more the actors, the partners, and the best practice to do one cloud project. So I became part of a beautiful community. So I have many friends that help me in my projects, in my challenges of life. And I'm very happy to be part of the AWS community in Brasilia, Brazil. And now I'm developing many skills, leadership, help each other, help with money, help with, help them with their needs, if many other things. So you if you become a part of a local group of a AWS community, you will develop not only tech skills, but soft yet. And it's very important these days to our professionals in the market. The key benefits for my career and life was many, 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 many. And one these, as I said, it's being part of a local and beautiful community and help them and give them something and he receive many other things. A friendship, a help with my project and talk about my technology in cloud and the other kind of projects. So if you can transform your life and career, you need to improve, then entering, become part of a group. Okay. So if you can check some things about this journey, you can check this QR code because in Medium channel, I have some articles talk about them and talk about the events and the how many people we impact and how we impact. So if you can check this, stay. Okay, lessons learning tips for the audience. So just start. If you don't met yet a community, just start. Just came to one meetup, online meetup or present personal meetup. Not doesn't matter. Just start to become a part and pursue some goal. What do you want to do in a community? You want to share some content in a event. You can I got you want to get a certification or specific certification, or you want to change of work, transition career. You need to understand what goals that you want to pursue, okay? And engage too the community. Just think that you can give something to, not only to receive. It's not about it to only receive, but to share too, because in this way you can receive more and build your solutions, build your contents, build your projects and share with the customers, with the community in our events. And I think that is very, very important lessons to you guys It's about it, okay? So to conclude, I don't know, Hiromi, if I'm in my time, but I'm in conclusion now, okay? This talk because it's a very quickly, it's just to share uh the things that happen in Brasilia, in Brazil, just to show your participants of this meeting, nah? AWS Global Community Gatherings, to you check how is it powerful to being part of community, how is important, how benefits you receive, how things that you can do to others. And it's about not only me, only Hiromi, it's about our community, okay? And you can check my articles and share with the other persons or people that don't meet yet AWS communities in your local area. So it's about AWS and us, not me. It's my guys. I love them. And thank you if you can just check this QR code and follow us to check our actions, local actions in local projects with AWS community. Okay, guys, thank you for audience. Thank you for your time. I don't know if I finish in my time, Hiromi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Priscilla, for your wonderful sharing. Thank you so much. The path you've taken will be such an inspiration for those just starting out. So, and I have to say the Brazil community is always so powerful, unique, and amazing. I'm always keeping eye on the Latam activities. So I also love touring and nature. So I keep saying I want to visit Brazil someday. I've been saying it for so long. I think it's about time I finally make it happen. So
Okay.
uh, as you share, the certifications are important, but they are also great way to build solid foundations. I felt that same that it really helps with learning. So it's also perfect for those who want to dive deeper into their favorite services or areas or interesting. Does anyone have comments, feedback, or questions for Priscilla?
There's something in Brazil something in Brazil that asked me something because we have today many guys from Brasilia that I asked to share to to watch to learning English because these are the other thing that we improving in our community are many languages, different languages, many countries, many cultures. It's amazing things.
Okay, you can comment anytime. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you again. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you for opportunity.
Thank you. So now let's move on and welcome Abhinaja. Are you ready? On mute.
Yeah, hi Rami. Hi, how are
Yeah.
you?
Good, good. Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much for speaking today.
yeah. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present. Oh, yeah,
Thank you. So
and
can you share screen?
yeah, sure. Can you able to see my screen?
Right, great. So you can change
Yeah,
uh
Presentation mode.
speaker mode.
I'm going to the presenter view. Let me know if that is visible to you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, perfect, great. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah, hi everyone, and I'm Abhinaya. I'm an AWS community builder, and I work as an associate at PwC. And so today my topic is about optimizing ETL pipelines with AWS Glue data quality. Basically, the topic is about the data quality. How do we configure the data quality checks on the AWS Glue? And how it used to measure the performance and the cost, and how it uses for the scalability as well. So this is the topic is about. And uh, so let me share a quick intro about the ETL before I'm starting with the AWS data quality. So what's basically the ETL is about? It's one of the term which we are using in the data engineering. So extract, transform, and load. So it's an process of data engineering actually. So we will get the amount of, okay, suppose in any app, we are generating almost terabytes of data, right? From LinkedIn and Instagram or whatever the app is, whatever the social media app is. So it's going to generate terabytes of data. So for a day, it's almost 400 million terabytes of data are generating. So it's going to store it in somewhere, right? So it might be in data lake or data warehouse, wherever it is. So it's going to store it in the data lake. And so it will be like the what's the ETL is about is, so the data engineer might have a requirement to transform the data in particular format. So the logic is going to work in this transform. So you are going to write a logic, and then after that, it will be stored in the data warehouse. So this is how the flow is going to work. So suppose if example, in the LinkedIn, otherwise we can take it as today event as an example. So Hiromi is organizing the event, so many people are approaching for the speaker opportunity, so it will be in here. Okay, so she will filter out. So okay, so we can have 6 to 7 speakers for the day, so it is going to do it in the transform phase, and then she will put it in the one data warehouse, like so this day, for the August 22, so there are going to be 6 speakers. So this is how the ETL pipelines works based on the requirement. So we can filter or we can transform it, and then we can transform it by using joins, and we can transform the by using the filtering, whatever the data we need. And we can remove the columns, and we can fill, like we can drop the duplicates over here, and we can change the column name, whatever the requirement is. So based on the requirement, we are going to transform the data from the large scale of data. This is how the ETL gonna work. Uh, and so, what's AWS Glue here? So, AWS Glue is one of the serverless ETL servers provided by the AWS. So, it works on this infrastructure. Like the architecture part follows like this. So, the data source might come from anywhere. It might be the batch process. It might be the historical data. It might be the real time streaming of data. So what the data crawler, like that's one of the part of the AWS Glue architecture. So the crawler might take the okay, suppose I'm uploading one CSV file or the JSON file. So the crawler will get the crawl the data, and then it will store it in the data catalog. The data catalog is like one, you can say it's like a book index. So it will crawl, and then it will only get the metadata of the data. Suppose we are having the CSV file, it is gonna have like 20 to 30 columns, or Okay, 30 columns, if you imagine. So what the crawler is gonna do is it will take only the column names. So that is the metadata, and then it will store it in the data catalog. And then what the data catalog will have the metadata of the data whichever we uploaded in the data stores. It might be from the RDS, it might be from S3, it might be from any databases or any sources. So it only gonna have the metadata of the data. So and then in the meta after that, what will happen is the transformation logic will come. So what? Okay, if I am supposed to only calculate the sum in the one of the column, I will write okay in the PySpark or Python. Okay, so I'm going to sum the prices. So and then I will filter out the so based on the okay, just filter out which is having the prices greater than 2000. This is how the transformation logic works, and post that it will be stored in the one of the target. It might be in the data warehouse or databases. The flow works like this. So based on my recommend, there will be the scheduling and event. Okay, so if I want to run this job daily, like at 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. So I will schedule the job and then it will run from the data. So, okay, some new data are coming in. So we need to just refresh the data and then we want to load it in the target. So this is one of the process, the batch processing works. So when it comes for the real-time data streaming, it will update it in the, like it will do it in the regular basis. So the real-time streams of data works different from the scheduling part. So this is how the AWS Glue architecture works. And so why data quality matters? So suppose before going to the context of it, so I will explain. So why data quality? Suppose I'm ordering one of the product from Amazon or whatever the e-commerce website. Uh, I'm having set of data in my profile. Okay, so instead of inconsistent, okay, there is some missing data, like my address is missing. Okay, and then it is delivering to another person's address. Okay, so it is going to be the bad data, right? So inconsistent or bad data will end up to the unreliable insights. So suppose I'm ordering one order, it is going to deliver it in this some other person's address, means it is going to cause the data quality issue, and it is going to cause the customer satisfaction to the bad. So this is how the data quality comes in, and so the inconsistent data are bad data. So it will lead to the unreliable insights, I can say. So and the validation ensures trust in data lake. So if we have the data quality, data quality checks. Okay, I want to check the column count is it should be in it should be equal to 20 or 30. So it is going to increase the trust in data lake, the validation checks. Okay, the validation checks are already done. We can transform the data by relaying the data quality checks. So what the before data quality checks comes in? So traditional approach is to we need to write the code for each and every line to check the data. So okay, the data bath should follow this format. So it is going to be done by our manual process. So it is time consuming uh, and then costly as well. And the data glue data quality, it is already built. Okay, so it is having the predefined rules over there. So it is going to be the faster and automated process as well. It's just like the drag and drop mechanism. So we can use it on the AWS Glue. So if we are not having the proper data, means so it's going to cause, okay, suppose it might have duplicates of data, and it might have, okay, suppose some values might, if okay, one user is having 100 in one of the column, but it is storing as like A, B, C. So it's going to cause an data quality issues. Okay, when it comes for processing. If this is how the data quality matters in each data pipeline. So the data quality overview is so AWS Glue. It's is having the data quality checks. It is built on DQ. So it's one of the Amazon open source. What it does is it's pre-built. You don't need to have the like you don't need to write the custom code over there. So it is already built. You want to just use the things. Okay, if you want to check the I say okay, row count, it already built on it, and you want to check, okay, the column A is equal to is the column A is having the sum of this sum of the columns, so it is already built. You don't need to write the logic. So it is an automated one which is developed by the Amazon. So it's like the open source tool is called the DQ. So what it provides actually, so it is like a rule sets for validation. So we are going to define the rule sets over there, and then it is going to check for each columns and the rows, and then pre-check and post-check, both the things we can do, like before loading, after loading the before transforming the data, we can check it, and after transforming our query, and then also we can check before loading to the data warehouse. So this is how the rule set for validation works. And performance monitoring. So why it is like cost tracking in AWS Cost Explorer as well. So it is having the tag based mechanism. We can tag the like tag the rules, and then we can check the cost things in the AWS Cost Explorer as well. So we can tag it as, okay, this is a quality check tag, and then we can have set of rules over there, and then we can check it in the AWS Cost Explorer as well. So this is how the data quality on AWS AWS Blue works. And so basically what it do is how data should look before processing and after processing. Okay, this is how the AWS Blue data quality is gonna work. And rule set categories. So this is having the three set of rules. One is simple rules, and next thing is medium rules, and the third one is complex rules. So simple rules might will have like column counts and the data types checks, like whether it's integer or boolean, or it's an way like like it will check the data type of the columns. So whether it is gonna having the big int, or the data it's whether it's going to be the having the how many character length it should have. It will be like the simple rules. And the medium rules will have the standard deviation and mean, medium. It will comes under the medium. And the complex checks will be like the referential integrity, like which like referential integrity in the sense it is like referencing to the other tables. It is like a foreign key. So we are having two tables. So this primary key should referencing to other foreign key. So this is how the referential integrity, and you can have the row count match. This and all comes under complex role match. These are the three categories we are having in the data quality check. And the key insights from it. So what the AWS data quality checks. So it runtime increases linearly with rule set complexity. Means if I'm having 100 rule set, means it is going to have the, okay, one rule set is gonna run for 2 minutes. It will, okay. The time increases as we are adding the rule sets. Okay, after that, I'm adding 2 to 3 rule set over here. So it is going to run rapidly, linearly, and then it will increase the time for whatever, how much the rule set we are adding to it. And the cost scales with DPU usage but remains low. So what it does mean is, okay, example, I am having 50 rule sets. Okay, it is gonna cost for $0.18. Okay, if I'm adding like 300 to 400 rule set after that also, it won't cost into X, I can say. So what it do is it will parallelly run the resources, like the whatever the resources, it will parallelly run the processing units. It won't run, it won't cost like 0.18. I'm adding 300, it won't run like 0.18 into 4 or anything. So yeah, we are having the parallel processing over there, it will cost low only. If I'm having 400 to 500 rules there, it is gonna cost about like $0.54. So this is how the cost we can reduce by using the rule sets. And rule sets tagging helps track and optimize spend. So what it means is, so we are categorizing, like we are having this today, the community gathering, we are having one tag as community gathering, and then we can go and check which rule set is costing high, how we can optimize that specific tag, like specific rule set. So this is how the rule set tagging works. So we can easily track the expense by using the tagging mechanism. And the last thing is reduces validation from days to us. Okay, so this is the key thing. So before that, the data quality check. So we need to write it manually. Okay, so we need to write it each and every data quality check manually by using any programming language. And then we need, okay, it might take like 2 to 3 days or 4 days to run for like to write it for like 4 to 5 tables. So what it now the data quality check, so it is having the custom rule sets. You want to just choose, and then you want to customize the rule sets how you want it. So this is the thing which reduces the time from like for the validation purpose. Okay, so these are the 4 points which the AWS data quality check is offering. And how to use this? Okay. So how to use this in the efficient way? So we can start with the simple rules and then we can scale it. So we can first check the simple rules, like I told, like row counts or the column counts or the filtering methods. But by using this, we can start with the simple rules, and then we can go it for the complex rules. And then we can use the tags for cost optimization. So it will be better to view, and we can see which like which rule set is costing higher. So this is how the tags we can use it for the cost optimization purpose. And enable cache data for performance boost. Suppose I want to check again and again about the one of the column is having only I want to like check one of the column is greater than 5,000 or not. So instead of that, I can enable the cache data for performance. Okay, instead of doing it again and again, it will have it in the cache and then it will be fetched easily. So instead of doing it for all the data from the scratch. So this is the enable cache data for a performance boost. And integrate with alerts and dashboards for monitoring. So why do we need that quality check actually? So we are having some of the requirement. We need, this is the format I need before processing, and then after processing, these are the things we need to have. Okay, suppose like 2 columns, I want like 100 rows. It should have, before processing, I want the 100 rows. After processing the data, filtering the data, I only have 50 rows. Okay, so this should count like is equal to 100, and then after that it should count 50. So this is how, okay, if it fails before and after, it should have the alerts. We can integrate with the even like SMS notification to them, email to the particular team. Okay, your data is not looking good, or it's not get the threshold now. So you can integrate with the alerts, and you can send the alerts to the respective team for monitoring. So this is the one which we can do for best practices. And so this is how the Glue data quality works. It is scalable and reliable and cost efficient as well. So it automates the rules and reduces the manual effort of writing the code. Okay. So I will show the quick demo how it works. Is this my screen visible, Harry? The AWS console is visible?
Yes,
Yeah. So as I said already, I have already created the table by using AWS Root Store. And if I go here, it is having the, this is the AWS catalog looks like. So the data type, and so I'm having the 12 columns over here. And I want to do the data quality checks here. I can go to the data quality, and I want to create one of the rules. So I'm having almost like 12 inside. So this is the column count is one of the simplest methods. So I can have the, okay, I'm having 12, but I'm describing it here as a 10. And I want to check one of the column is existing or not. I can, so this and all built on top of the DQ. So it's already predefined. You want to just customize how you want to define it. So, okay, check the existence of given column. Okay, column exists. I'm saying it has name. Okay, so these are the two rules I want to check it here, and I'm going to save the rule set. And I can. I was telling about the labels, right? You can, if you want to tag everything, you can tag it, and then you can have a tag name, and then you can save the rule set. Okay. Now I want to run it. Okay. So you want to define the IAM role, the AWS Glue wants to take it over. So I already have the access to, like I have defined the rule, like IAM roles in the this Glue IAM role. Mm, so it has started. So definitely it's going to fail because it's not the column name exists, name is not there, and then the column count is not about 10. So it will definitely fail. So I was telling about the if it fails, I can set up the event bridge rules. When the event is stored as an failure, you can set an alarm, set an alarm to the respective team by using the event bridge rules. So it has failed. So, okay. So I have defined some data like permissions for this like the data. So one more. So I will. Okay. So I already loaded here the data, and then I have predefined over here as well. So this is the data source. And I have defined the rule set like column count is equal to 12. And you see, the time to load. So you can define the rules over here, and then you can check the results, like whether it's passed the test or not. So here, this is the one which you can have it in the your data pipeline before processing it for the actual process. So meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Like, sure. So here it is. So the rule set I have given is the column count and it has passed and there is no failure. If it is failure means it will show what it is here and then we can set up the event bridge and then we can define it with. So this is the about the data quality checks. So if you have any doubts, that's it about my session. Thank you everyone for listening. If you have any queries, you can ask me.
Thank you so much, Abhinav. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hiram.
Thank you for that wonderful talk. So I think performance, cost, and scalability are always things we want to keep optimizing. And as you said, maintaining data quality and proper structure is so important. Good data is such a powerful tool, right? I love to see more people use it. Uh, yes. Thank you. Thanks also for the demo. So everyone, if you get the chance, differently try out the tutorial yourself, right? So now does anyone have a question, feedback, or comments for webinar?
Nothing. So
Nothing.
comment and X comment and YouTube comment, nothing.
Okay, so if you can share your screen on chat, right?
Me?
Thank you. So thank you again, Abhinav. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hirumi.
You. So next, we'd like to welcome Keita. Are you here with us? Keita.
Yeah. I'm here. Hear me?
Oh, Keita.
Yeah.
Keita Nakagawa?
Yep.
Okay, so please share your screen.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I'm confused. Your name Sweeter?
Shweta. No problem.
Okay.
And can we get started?
Okay,
Yes,
perfect
here you
share
go.
screen.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you, Hirami, for this opportunity. And uh, today, when we think about cloud, we have so many things that coming into picture, like our speed, scalability, cost, and everything, right? But none of this matters if there is no security in place. Today, I'm going to introduce you to two important services, which is like IAM and Access Analyzer, that help us to enhance our cloud security. So, so the quick introduction about myself. I'm Shweta Mudunori. I prefer to go by Shweta, and I'm working as a cloud security and governance lead in Tenacem DC. I also mentor women who are starting their career in cybersecurity, and I'm part of AWS Community Builders since 2024 March. And I'm also an AWS and also a Wazoo ambassador. So, sorry. So why does it matter so much for us? Why do we need to use IAM or IAM Access Analyzer? So because of a lot of breaches happening, and why is it happening? Because it is maybe for weak access control, or someone has shared the credentials somewhere, or maybe because of over provisioning. There might be, these are the reasons why we end up in having breaches. And according to Gartner, there is 81% of cloud breaches are involved in compromised credentials. A gatekeeper, like a login, and an analyzer is like CCTV, seeing who has access to what. So we'll discuss more about these in detail. Sorry. So when we talk about IAM access controller, so we have centralized control where we can provision users, groups, roles, and permissions that we all know. And we also talk about more of least privileges. So, and also it's a policy base, which is like JSON. So if we want to look at in detail about these things before we get into IAM Access Analyzer, user is like individual entity, and the group is like you're assigning group of people like developers into one group, and that becomes a group. And role is something like a temporary badge, which will give it for people who want to come in temporary basis, or some services can assume that role and do that operation for that particular period. We are not giving permanent things, we're just giving it for temporary basis. JSON is something, all the policies are defined in JSON, where we have three things like which one has access to what, or which user, and what, how, whether it has access or deny permissions. That's all about IAM. So if you see here, you have users, we have groups, and it is telling which user have access to which groups. That's a quick summary about IAM. And we always think about giving least privileges for the users or the applications that we use. So next comes our analyzer, access analyzer. So what is access? IAM access analyzer. Why is it so important now? So it is like permission detective. So we don't know, we'll give some permissions, and that will stop us from doing what we are about to do. Like for example, I want some specific permissions. I'll ask my admin to give some specific permissions, but that doesn't work out or fulfill my job. So I have to end up in giving more privileges for that person, like admin privileges. But actually, that person doesn't need those privileges. So that's where IAM Access Analyzer pitch in. So it will analyze what permissions it actually needs. So earlier, with the latest with the latest features, it can detect internal access risks also. Earlier, it used to analyze external access. That's something like if S3 bucket is available publicly, it will notify us. These are the buckets which are available public. But with the latest features, I really like the latest features of internal access finding, how you can see which within your organization who has access to which S3 buckets, what DynamoDB, what resources are exposed, and who is actually having over privileges within your organization itself. It detects internal and also external. If you see here, this is a quick screenshot of the AWS IAM Access Analyzer screenshot after we conduct analysis. So So what features does it have? It is like external access analyzer, internal access analyzer. It also checks what is the unused access analyzers and the policy validation and custom checks. External access analyzer, it will check what is what resources are exposed to the outside world. So that will help us to identify if there is any external threats that is happening from the external or the outer boundary. Internal access analyzer, this is a new feature as per 2025, which helps us to understand who has what policies, what privileges within the organization itself to prevent privilege escalation. If someone accidentally has admin privileges and someone has taken on that account and it doesn't allow us to do a privilege escalation because we are doing a least privilege by using access analyzer to understand what permissions are necessary and will give you only those required permissions for that particular user or the role. So unused access analyzer. Sometimes we create permissions, access keys, and then we leave it for a certain period. We'll use it for a certain period and then we'll use it. We forget it. Just like applications, we don't use frequently. It will be left like that and it will become a vulnerability for the people, outside people to utilize those kind of keys. So if there is any keys or any roles which is left out, it will detect that one and help us to understand, okay, these are the keys which is not used in last 6 months. So it helps us to clean those kind of things as well. And policy validation and custom check is very good feature because it will check each and every policy of your user, like the JSON, it will analyze so many JSON files. It's not one JSON, it will analyze lots of JSON files, understand what fits for you, what is needed. For example, I might need a specific role, but I'm not sure what roles I could probably give it to that end user. So you can give it to an as admin user for the time being to work for the user to perform his daily day-to-day activities. The analyzer will help you whether what roles you're accessing, what privileges you actually need over a period of time. It is like understanding what you need, then controlling the access that way. So you can analyze it for a month or so, then you understand, okay, this person is only accessing these roles. So we can restrict ourselves or we can give the least permissions for that user after analyzing everything. So that really helps with access analyzer. So how exactly the actual access analyzer works? So we'll think, okay, this is very cool, and how exactly it works is also important for us to understand what is the real reason this access analyzer is working. So it uses an automatic reasoning to evaluate all the policies, that uses some maths and stuff to understand what are the different paths for this particular policy. It analyzes the attack surface and hence gives us the realistic policies which is needed for that particular application or role. Also understands different policies, SCPs, and everything whichever is related to the particular policies, what policies they have at the organization level, at the account level, what is getting inherited as a part of that policy. It will analyze everything and give you a detailed report. So it will also check which resource, what principle, what permissions is needed for each a user enroll. That really helps. Actually, it is very necessary for the security engineers to understand what users, um, what roles and what permissions are uh, are given to each user, so that we can get a clear picture of what is happening within your landscape. So this also has cool features of integration, where you can integrate with EventBridge to make it automated. So you can define some policy checks to make to uh, to define what is as expected, what is not expected. If it is not expected, probably you can do an event bridge, notify to the users about the automated alerts. This is not as expected thing as per this rule, and this will help before any breach happens. This will help the security engineers to identify and remediate the unwanted access. So you can also define some custom flows and remediation. So if something happens, if there is any privilege escalation or something, we can just block that user before they log in and do a privilege escalation. That kind of remediations and playbooks you can define for yourself. So is this blocking me? So what it actually matters, why this is why after discussing all the features of access analyzer, then you will think about why actually this matters a lot for in real world, in today's world. So it gives us a unified visibility of what users has what permissions, and whether we are giving over permissions, or whether we have any external findings or comprehensive insight. It gives you about all the people within the organization. You can define within an organization or within an account to find out what this especially matters when you go for an audit, and it gives a simplified compliance report where you can showcase it to your auditors, and it is very good for your regulatory compliance as well. And also it has the cool features of integrating with your partners like Okra security and identity security for more integrity, and you can export once it gets integrated, so you can import those things as well. So what are we going to do with IAM Access Analyzer? We can enable it comprehensively so that we can implement IAM across all the organizations. So you have a full coverage of what is happening in your entire landscape. You can internally monitor it and see if there is any IAM activities to detect any anomalies. So if there is, before an anomaly happen itself, we can identify and mitigate those risks. We can also automate it, as I mentioned, like Event Bridge, and you can also integrate with Security Hub to see a consolidated view on the Security Hub page as well. And you can use automated tools to verify the policies and access. You can refine your rules to say whether it is aligning with your organization policies. This monitoring things and you're remediating things before it happens, it actually reduces your attack surface, so that we can stay safe and your organization is eliminating all the attack surfaces. We can integrate, as we discussed, we can integrate with partners like Okra Security and other features. So it has more integrity also. We can integrate with other systems. So this is a quick overview of how to get started with Access Analyzer. And I just provided the screenshots of how to get started. It is just an IAM page where you can scroll down to where we create users and stuff like this. So it is just below the IAM console. So we can go to the access analyzer settings and create new access analyzer. And here we have options of, if you see here in resource analysis, external access. So we can analyze the resources which is available externally. And also this is a feature, this is the coolest feature. I can say that many people are looking forward for this. And this is a feature which is introduced in June 2025 and which has internal access. And also we can see what are the unused access like keys and other things. So you can just give the name of the IAM access analyzer and how do you define your trust, whether it is at the organization level or at the current user level. And you can add the resources from the selected accounts, or we have option, we can select the particular details about those from those particular accounts. It is grayed out due to security. And while you're importing, you can select the particular resources like S3, DynamoDB, and everything. Once this is done, probably you will get a holistic picture of this findings where you can see what resources are exposed to outside, what you have to do, what are your active findings, and everything. So this helps us to identify and mitigate the issues in a much faster way than before. So that's all about IAM Access Analyzer. If anyone has any questions, please let me know.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Spaces for such as a insightful talk. If you are able to share your slides later, please do share the link with us. So I think IAM is such a important future for everyone, and using it properly really helps keep our environment secure and protected. And IAM Access Analyzer is incredibly powerful as well. I hope more people will start using it actively. So
I have.
it, yes, all right. So it's important to design and architect systems with security at the center. So thanks again for your excellent presentation. So, now does anyone have a comments, question, or feedback for?
Thank you.
think-
Maybe we'll start understanding this use when we start when your admin or someone ask you what permissions you need. That is very fishy to answer. Okay, do I need S3? Do I need IAM? Or do I need something else? So this is quite useful. I have gone through that scenario and then I understand. This helps us a lot. At least they can give us admin understand what roles we are going through, what permissions we might need, then it will help them to give the least privilege which we actually needed to do or work done. So
Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you. So once again, thank you so much.
thank you, Naomi, for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So with today's schedule change, this was our final session. From here, we'll move into the closing. So, wow, that went by so that it's been 2 hours. All right. So before we close, I want to thank all of our speakers for their amazing talks today. So each of you shared thoughtful and inspiring ideas, and together they gave us so much takeaway. We totally appreciate the time you spent with us. So before we uh, feel free to drop your social links in the chat so we can all stay connected. And if you enjoyed today, please share this community with your AWS friends. We'll love to welcome new voices. Thanks again, everyone. I hope to see you at the next event next September. Bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Hiromi. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So,
Oh, Deborah, you have Ryan